Happy May Day! So today is May Day, and lots of fun things are happening. So May Day, first off, May Day is a labor holiday. Today, people all over the U.S., maybe the world, I haven't completely checked on what everyone is doing and where all of the different protests and everything are going on. But no work, no school, no spending money, no, there's one other one, I forget. Which, and we're going to just talk about the whole situation that we are currently in and go from there. So, unfortunately, not everyone has not necessarily the ability to fully do that, but there is the whole question of like how critical workers can protest, how critical workers can ensure secure systems while still maintaining the stance and how, and a lot of that is, I don't have the answer for, first off, like, I have no clue, but it does kind of question. So, great example is today, unfortunately, baby girl and hubs are working. Baby girl is before and after school care. Caring for our kids is beyond a doubt number one. So, and we had these discussions to talk through, like, how do we, help maintain and take care of those who need it while still being able to protest and, crumple the system and all of this fun stuff. But that is where summer camp comes in. So, although, we have been in a protesting stance really since, oh goodness, 2025, yeah, somewhere around there, where we were going through all of our finances, all of everything, divesting, going through and figuring out, okay, who gets my money? Why are they getting it? Is it of value? Are they doing what they say they are doing? Do we trust them? And that's where our family started, was we were going through the financial data to really understand what systems our family were continuing to hold up. That was shortly after I lost my job doing federal contracts, and that's basically where and when I'm like, okay, the federal level of this system is super, super broken, completely just completely trash. So, in all of the pain and anguish, I have an amazing mentor who constantly remains nameless, and I love it. I don't know. It's a little bit fun to have that, nameless support, but I can reach out to them and at any point in time, and it's been like this for, goodness, decades now, where when things are looking terrible, I can reach out and go, okay, what are we doing? What's going on? What am I missing in this whole picture? And they give me guidance and recommendations, and it is sometimes maddening because they never say, hey, you need to go here, you need to do this. It's not a like demanding this is what needs to happen type mentorship. It's the like reminding me what I already know and encouraging me in like my knowledge. Well, I was really excited because we've been working on all sorts of fun things for summer camp and the space and military learning experience. And I finally okay, I think I'm on something. Let's get this going. And we put together the first intelligence briefing, recommendation, report, however you want to say it. And all I did was send it to him. And it's like, here. And they're like, wow, this is really good. Who is this? And kind of broke down, it's clear, concise, simple language, like you can actually move forward on these steps. And I'm like, yes, I did it. It's working, it's doing its job. Because it was more questioning the background, the hey, this is really good, where'd you get it type response. And that made me feel so flippin' pumped. So I'm like, all right, let's get to work. And we did. So Kate Warren is constantly growing, but it is a force to be reckoned with. And we have built the entire counter stack to disrupt the cognitive warfare machine and how to reclaim your sovereignty as an individual, as a community, as everything. And I am so flippin' pumped because today is May 1st and we are kicking off all of the summer camp themed shenanigans. So, with that, I am going to be all over the place trying to make some good trouble. We're going back to the 80s, and we are going to reset all this mess. So, I need your help. So much need your help. And yes, I know that I have one hand painted and one hand not. That's ADHD and needing to go to bed and didn't finish it. And now on like day 4 of forgetting to paint my other hand. So I need to do that today. Anywho, so I need your help. Summer camp, everything is going to start dropping. The entire counter stack of the information release, like timeline of what gets released when you can expect additional releases coming. To help dig through the archives. And yeah, I love how it kind of comes in and out. Because here's the thing. The whole system is, one, set up to make you pause before moving forward. And in this hurry up stance, the idea and the legal system and all of that has come down to the thought process of it's just a DDoS attack. So as you know, the U.S. administration starts making all of their moves, their hope is that they can get through whatever it is they're wanting to do faster than it takes you to realize that you're being attacked. And when you circle through, so it's never like the same issue, it's the let's change the subject. And they keep changing the subject so they don't have to face what's staring them right in the face. So we have a plan, but I need help. So please, what I need you to do, super simple, start just sharing my stuff. I will share your stuff as I see it. Let's start having these conversations. And we're going to have daily meetups and virtual events and just obnoxious fun all around summer camp in the 80s. And we are going to tear the system apart, down, in such a beautiful and delightfully chaotic way that, like, I'm so flippin' excited. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. If you have resources to help, every penny makes it a little bit easier so we can get more done, get more people, because we believe in the direct procurement and not donation mentality of being able to pay individuals for their work. So we're going to do our best to, help rebuild an ethical system that focuses on everyone and takes care of the most vulnerable first and then moves up from there. So the goal, because I have I've been, goodness, so the whole, I have this whole thing back and forth with, we'll go with an acquaintance. They're very frustrated with me, and I know they are. And they are not wrong, they're just not pausing to realize that there's more going on than they are privy to because of the whole aspect of maintaining the privacy of others. And that is where the line between secrecy and privacy kind of, the question comes in. So how do we ensure privacy but still have a transparent system that allows individuals to process the pain and trauma and whatever of living in this system, get them the help they need, and not create additional pain and suffering, because transferring the pain and suffering from one person to another person is not the way to get this done. In order to do it right, you have to, like, literally elevate everyone to a whole new frequency, and I'm so excited because it's going to be amazing. So, I am almost home. We're going to do some yoga, get our minds set and ready. What is the vehicle doing? I see you, Tacoma. I don't know what you're doing, so just get the fuck out of my way. Awesome. Love it. We're going to do some yoga for the day. And then I'm going to hop over to Instagram. And I'm going to go live on Instagram. So, this is how it's going to do. We're going to frequency hopping. And we're just going to go live where we can. And I flippin' hate TikTok, and I don't think I'm going to create a new one. I might just be like, hey, QJ, let's get on TikTok and we'll use yours, because I don't want a TikTok account. I don't want to be on it that often. But we got some stuff to do. So we start the day on Substack, then we move over to Instagram. After Instagram, we are going to go into a I think we'll go on to and all of that stuff, because there are a few calls. But what we're going to do is I'm going to try and go through my entire day, but I'm going to jump through the various platforms. So you got to find me. If you find me, you get little bits of information. You have to piece all the information together in order to find out the full story. and I will give and literally tell you what I'm going to do, where I'm going to do it, where you can join me, how you can help. Literally, I'm going to give it all to you. You just have to come with me. So, if you want to have some fun, if you want to learn a whole bunch of just crazy, cybery stuff, summer camp is starting today, right now. I'm so excited! All right, yoga. That's where we're going. Let's go. So Fridays, because it's a Friday, following the whole bees method that we've been working on, is about integration. And integration means bringing it all together, baby. And so today, all the work, the entire sprint, building out the counter stack, there is coming together into an integrated, beautiful, amazing piece. And the thing is, it's not sustainable to go all the time. And, constantly working yourself to the bitter end is not just unsustainable. It breaks down your entire body. This a little better. There we go. All right. So that's why we start the day with yoga. And the day with yoga, make sure we are doing what we can to maintain and regulate our system. And in order to be able to maintain and regulate our system through the various levels of exhaustion and stress and all of that, everything has to become a practice. And when you hear a practice, that means that you practice it every day. Every day you try to do a little bit better. Every day doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be a step forward. And that step forward might be slow, but if it's steady, then you're able to maintain the pace. But again, in order to maintain the pace, you have to continue to build up your strength, and you break down the vulnerabilities, you break down all of the you break down all the walls and you rebuild them. And yes, you end up in this feeling of constantly building, constantly working. But when you realize that oh, that deep stretch always feels so good. When you realize that the the world is constantly changing, constantly molding, morphing, change is the only constant. And when change is the only constant, it is very difficult to ensure the same response every time. But, and that's where, the whole definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result. You have to know when to, understand the changing systems so that way all of the changing systems can begin to um, work for you instead of break you. So, how do you get started on this process of breaking everything down so you can rebuild it? Well, it starts with breaking down yourself, and that fucking sucks because, people are dumb, and because people are dumb and they're stubborn and they absolutely do not like change, they hold on to past selves. Oh, goodness. 1 second. Ah, is it coming back? I'm sorry. So, I need to make sure he didn't need anything. But hilarious. Um, he's like, everyone was running late today. I get to be a real person and sit on a desk, and because he's been in training. And so, but today he gets to actually do his job for the first time, which is amazing, and I love that for him. Um, because he's been doing training, which training is important because, again, when you go back to practice, you got to do it daily. You have to accept the fact that you're going to fail sometimes, and you have to learn to move through the failure to learn. And that can be done daily and being consistent and all of these things that we really, really, really don't like. Mm. This stretch here is really important and really helpful when I'm on a computer all day. Um, I've had carpal tunnel-esque issues where I get pain in my, it's from my neck and my shoulder, but it'll make my fingers all tingly. The neuropathic pain is what my doctor called it. But that helps me be able to do what I need to do at my computer. Gotta go get that too. I'm just gonna sit in the silence for a minute. There's um, it is a verse out of the Bible in Psalms that says, "Be still and know that I am God." And I always loved that because it was the reminder to just sit, trust the process, trust the practice. The silence often makes people uncomfortable because of where their brains are able to go and whether you have guilt and shame. It is also in the silence that you're able to determine your sovereignty and all of the counter stack uh, terminology and everything. We talk about being sovereign. And what that means is that you are making a choice for a reason. And that doesn't mean that anyone else needs to understand your reasoning. Hell, 95% of the decisions I make, if I had to explain why I made that decision, it would be difficult. And sometimes the reason is just because that's what I felt when I looked at it. That was the assessment I made and the action I chose. But I have no problem making that decision. Now, If you're forced to make all of the decisions all the time, then the stress of outcomes can be like a fucking stone on your chest. That's why your parents have gotten so stressed out because the unconscious decisions and the unconscious decisions are things like you just don't really think about it, you just do it. Well, why do you do that? And as you learn more about yourself and why you do things, some things are just out of habit, and then you identify those. Others is because in your, you know, your experience, your knowledge, your trauma, your triggers, all of those come into play and turn into an action. So the other thing with sovereignty is that quite often we give up our sovereignty to someone else to make a decision because we love them, because we trust them. There's tons of different reasons why we can allow others to make a decision for us. And sometimes those decisions are, minuscule, like what am I going to eat? Um, but you have to know, understand, and balance the who you're giving that power to, as well as in what instances you should and shouldn't give up that power. And there are some instances that you should never give up that power. And then there are instances where, in an act of surrender and trust, you are willing to give up all of the power. And when it comes to, and this is where um, we'll talk about this more in the Ivy Underground spaces, as well as what we call the Sovereign Adult Initiative, um, where we'll actually talk about kink and power play and how to safely explore situations, things you might want to try, things you might want to do, all of this stuff in a safe environment. Because, yes, everything is changing, but we can, you know, create spaces for the learning and growth. And that is what uh, the garden building comes down to, as well as the ability to have fun without hurting anyone. And we used to say it's all fun and games until someone gets hurt, and that's exactly what it is. Is we play
all these different games. But when the games entail harm, we've got to do better. And we have to learn how to play those games without causing harm. And that goes causing harm to ourselves and causing harm to others. And unfortunately, I have seen a lot of trauma in my life. I've dealt with very big issues from the time I was little all the way, to present day. I have seen things, I have known things. And as a individual that holds on to memories, it's a massive weight because we live in this world where people just want to forgive and forget. And fucking cold, sorry. So people want to live in this space of forgive and forget, but the forgetting portion is the element of there's some things that you cannot forget, and you can forgive yourself for not knowing. And I think QJ posted an amazing thing talking about like grief and all of that. I forget when he posted it, but I saw it this morning and I reshared it, or I restacked it, so you can check on my stack. But I need you to understand that as we go through this process, as we go through being able to counter a cognitive warfare stack, because that's what it is it's messing with your brain. And as we go through that process, you have to learn how to maintain control of your brain, maintain control of your timeline, and be able to anchor yourself to things that matter and things that are true. And that's where, when your anchor gets ripped out from underneath you, and that's where major trauma and pain happens and occurs. And so, as we work through all of this, and we do it with intentionality and through very specific spaces, places, and moments together, uh, we're going to hold each other accountable. So, call me out on my bullshit. Let's learn together. I'm going to go get set up on my computer and um, take care of a few other things. I'm going to try to maybe go live on Instagram between 8 and 9, but I'm going to be on Astrolith. So at Astrolith on Instagram. And we're going to start talking about the counter stack and space. And it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So, see you in a bit.